There comes a time in life when holding on becomes heavier than letting go. We all carry the weight of memories, of relationships that once meant everything, of people we thought would walk with us till the end. But life teaches us that not everyone is meant to stay. Some are lessons, some are chapters, and some are storms that pass to clear your skies. In those moments of silent heartbreak, the most courageous thing you can ever do is to choose yourself. To look into the mirror and say, I am enough, even if they walk away. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It's survival, it's growth, it's healing. And sometimes the biggest act of love is letting go not of others, but of the pain they left behind. Your healing begins where their noise ends. When you stop chasing people who don't see your worth, something magical happens. The noise dies down. The chaos begins to settle. And for the first time, you hear yourself clearly. You hear your pain, your dreams, your voice. Their absence becomes the beginning of your presence. In that silence, healing is born. Letting them go does not mean you didn't love them. It means you love yourself enough to walk away from what was breaking you piece by piece. We often try to fix what is already shattered beyond repair. We hold on because we're afraid of the emptiness that comes with release. But emptiness is not your enemy. It is a space waiting to be filled with better, with peace, with purpose, with people who genuinely care. When you remove the noise, you make space for your soul to speak. And the more you listen, the more you'll realize that all the love you were giving away so freely was actually the love you needed to give yourself. Your healing begins not when they say sorry, but when you stop waiting for it. That's the moment the real you rises from the ashes of every goodbye. You are not abandoning them, you are choosing you. We are taught to never give up on people, to keep trying, to keep holding on. But what no one teaches us is that you also have a responsibility to not abandon yourself in the process. You are not cold for choosing peace. You are not heartless for protecting your spirit. You are not selfish for walking away from someone who only shows up halfway. You have spent enough time shrinking your soul just to keep others comfortable. You have watered gardens that never grew. You have been loyal to those who only loved you when it was convenient. And now, it is time to stop betraying yourself just to stay loyal to someone else. Sometimes, you need to leaven out because they're bad blood, because you are finally good enough to say, I deserve more. Letting go is not rejection. It is redirection. It is realignment. It is remembering that your energy is sacred, that your time is precious, that your heart is a temple, not a playground for broken promises. When you start choosing yourself, the universe starts choosing you too. People who respect your boundaries will arrive. Opportunities that align with your soul will unfold. But none of it can come until you decide that your peace matters more than their presence. Focus on becoming, not begging. When you start focusing on your own growth, something inside you shifts. You begin to realize that the love you were chasing in someone else was actually the love you needed to give yourself. You stop begging for validation. You stop seeking permission. You stop waiting to be chosen. Instead, you choose yourself fully and unapologetically. It is not your job to convince someone to stay. It is not your role to keep proving your worth. When you stop begging for scraps of attention, you start building a feast of self-worth. Every minute you spend chasing someone who doesn't see you is a minute stolen from your own becoming. You were not born to be tolerated. You were born to be celebrated, but first you must celebrate yourself. The world sees you the way you see yourself. So when you carry yourself with dignity, with grace, with purpose, the universe starts opening doors you never thought possible. You stop shrinking to fit into places you've outgrown. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. And most importantly, you stop waiting to be saved. Because you finally realize you are your own rescue. Letting go is not giving up, it's growing up. We often mistake letting go as a sign of weakness, as if walking away means failure. But in truth, letting go is the bravest thing you will ever do. It means you are strong enough to face the future without clinging to the past. It means you trust the process. It means you are finally ready to grow. Growing up is realizing that some people are not meant to walk with you into the next chapter. And that's okay. Not every friendship is forever. Not every love story ends in a happy ever after. But every person who leaves your life leaves behind a lesson, a mirror, a moment that helped shape who you are today. That is growth. That is grace. The real growth begins when you stop wishing for the past to return and start embracing the present as it is. You accept the unanswered questions. You carry the wounds as wisdom. And you walk with a heart wide open, not because it's never been broken, but because it knows how to heal. Letting go is not a loss, it's a liberation, a return to yourself, a rebirth into someone stronger, wiser, and more whole than ever before. Build a life that feels like freedom. You are not here to be imprisoned by people's opinions, their absence, or their rejection. You are here to live, to rise, to feel joy that is not tied to someone else's presence. Freedom is when your happiness is not dependent on who stays or who leaves. It is when your soul breathes fully without seeking permission. When you focus on yourself, you begin to rebuild your life from within. You start doing the things you love. You surround yourself with people who pour into your spirit, not drain it. You wake up with purpose, not pain. You fall in love with your own journey. And in that process, you realize you don't need closure to move on. You just need the courage to begin again. A life that feels like freedom is not loud, it is not perfect, but it is honest, peaceful, grounded. It is a life where you no longer beg for love because you are the source of it. A life where you are no longer afraid of letting go because you know that what is meant for you will never require you to lose yourself in order to keep it. In the end, there comes a moment in life when you stop looking back, not because the past didn't matter, but because your future finally does. You start to realize that healing is not about holding on to who hurt you, but about holding space for who you're becoming. The peace you've been searching for outside will only find you when you stop chasing those who never truly saw you. Letting them go isn't a tragedy, it's the beginning of your transformation. And focusing on yourself isn't loneliness, it's finally choosing to come home to the one person who has always been there for you. You don't need to carry everyone with you on your journey. Some people were only meant to teach you how strong you are when you're alone. The strength to say no more, the grace to walk away with dignity, and the wisdom to know that not every goodbye deserves a second chance. These are the gifts you give yourself when you focus inward. Because when you start pouring into your soul the way you used to pour into others, you'll find a power that no one can take away, no matter who stays or leaves. So let them go, not in bitterness, but in gratitude. Thank them for the lessons, for the growth, for showing you what you don't want so you can find what you do. And then step into the life you were meant to live. A life led by purpose, not pain. A life rooted in self-worth, not sacrifice. Because the moment you choose yourself, the universe begins to align. And in that moment, you don't just let go of them, you finally rise into you.